Welcome back everyone to another video, and in this video I want to talk about how buyers agents are actually changing their strategy going forward. And this is a really important video to make because I know a lot of people who watch my YouTube channel also watch me because I give the unfiltered opinions of what's happening in the buyers agent space, what's happening in the property investment space, and there are a lot of changes ever since the budget has come out. And so I wanted to step by step walk you through these changes and how BAs are pivoting and what you should be careful of. Now let's just talk about the obvious things that has happened. Number one, a negative gearing has been removed. It's been abolished for established residential properties purchased after the 12th of May 2026. So essentially, if you're watching this video, any property that you purchase going forward except a new build cannot be negatively geared. That means losses can no longer be offset against your salary or income, and losses can only be carried forward against future capital gains and future rental income. New builds and pre-budget properties are grandfathered. Now the impact is that buyers agents can no longer justify low yield, high growth suburbs. Now, oftentimes, especially in early 2026, buyers agents were pushing Melbourne as the best place to invest. And while there is an argument and a case to be made that Melbourne is one of the better places to invest, from a cash flow perspective, it is unfortunately a pretty low yield environment. And what a low yield environment means is that if you are purchasing a property on a 3% yield, a $700,000 property, you could potentially have $20,000 to $30,000 in negative cash flow per year, which you need to sustain. Now, before, when we have negative gearing, you could offset that against your primary income, which means your negative cash flow would only be around $10,000 to $20,000, which is more justifiable than 30 grand. And that is the reality. And because of that, buyers agents have been pushing higher yielding locations, often meaning smaller towns with thinner rental markets. In fact, if you have been in the property investment community, you would have noticed that some buyers agents are mass purchasing in Alice Springs because of the very, very high yield opportunities there. In fact, when you look at Alice Springs at a very high level, you can see that properties cost less than $500,000, but on a very high level, you can see that Alice Springs properties cost less than $500K, and they have a 7.37% yield, which is just insane. It is very high yield. It's basically positively geared from day one, and this is what buyers agents are pushing. And it may grow in the short term because of the manufactured growth coming from all these BAs pushing property prices up. It may not necessarily transition into a good long-term investment property for you, and you have to be very careful about that, because the last thing you want is to be in a location that you're holding for 5 to 10 years and it's a cyclical market and you ride a boom but then it goes down just as far. So you have to be very careful. Not only that, high yielding opportunities means that it might try to push you into apartments, justifying they're at the bottom of their cycle. Once again, while some of it's true, not everything is a perfect opportunity, and you have to be very careful about what high yield opportunity they are pushing you into. In fact, and I'm going to make a video about this, they're pushing people into some center middle apartments in Melbourne CBD, which I think is an incorrect opportunity. Let's talk about impact number 2, and that is borrowing capacity shrinks. Now, for those of you who haven't realized or who have been living under a rock, if you had a pre-approval and it's been recently reduced, it's probably because you've been buying under your personal name. And the reason your borrowing capacity has shrunk, and it's because negative gearing has been removed. When we had negative gearing before, banks would add that back into the serviceability calculations, which allows you to borrow more money. Without negative gearing, your borrowing capacity shrinks. Simple as that. But what does that mean for buyers agents? Well, they're working with a smaller budget. Clients that had access to $700,000 before have access to only $500,000. That means their ceiling has gotten lower. They are accessing and targeting markets that are smaller regional towns. They're targeting markets where there is more competition. These markets might be more affordable, but they're being pushed into asset types and suburbs and locations that may not necessarily suit their budget, their risk profile, and their strategy, right? Price point becomes a primary filter, not the fundamentals. In fact, I have seen some BAs start to target, as I've said before, these smaller regional towns, which is not what you want as an investor. If you're planning to buy and hold for a long period of time, you want to stick to medium to large regional locations and invest in those markets because they will continue to grow at a consistent rate compared to these small boom and bust towns. Now let's talk about number 3. SMSF residential lending has essentially closed. Now, as at the recording of this video is in somewhat of July, there is a 45-day transition with basically SMS lending ending in mid-August or so. Now, a lot of buyers agents built pipelines around SMSF residential strategies, and now they must redirect their clients in either to pushing them to purchase under this strategy within the next 45 days or so, or they need to push clients into buying different types of assets under their personal name, trust, or company name. Now, I just want to make this very clear. The same property that you're buying under your super may not necessarily be the same property that you should be buying under your personal company or trust. You have to be very careful. And you have to be also careful about the way you restructure your portfolio based on these changes. And it's really important to understand not to be pushed into a property purchase because there is a tight deadline. You do not want to purchase a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 asset purely based on time, purely because you're being pushed against time. At the end of the day, if you want to hold this for the next 5, 10, 15 years, you need to make sure you're making the right decision that fits your strategy, your framework, and your risk appetite. Some investors are going to get caught slacking. Some investors will fall under the pressure buyers will put them because they're going to be pressured into buying an asset by the BA and the fact that there is a 45-day transition window. That means if they don't sign the contract within 45 days, they're going to miss out on this SMSF purchase. Now, while I understand the importance of leveraging this situation, you do not want to be pushed into purchasing the wrong asset. So please, please, please be very careful. And if you're unsure about what asset you're purchasing and you need help identifying which asset to purchase, or you're unsure about the asset the BA is pushing you to purchase under your SMSF, join the private community, guys, right? It's $40 a month. I will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars by not making you purchase the wrong property. You can get the help and advice you need from me. There's personal mentorship and guidance, and I do property deal reviews for you privately, and I review suburbs for you as well. So if you need any help at all, jump into the private community, get the help you need, and don't be pressured into purchasing the wrong asset today. Now let's keep going on the video. Now I did touch on this topic a little bit earlier, and that is to do with new builds and high yield unit push. And that is a bit of an overdrive already. Now, for some reason, overnight, I have seen buyers agents push and push and push new builds and high yield opportunities, unit opportunities specifically. Now, yes, new builds retain negative gearing. I do not disagree with that. It's great that you can get negative gearing. However, we do not invest in property for a tax outcome. Negative gearing means you lose money. You're just getting your money back from the government. That is what negative gearing is. It is nothing special. It is a benefit that accelerated property investment. It made property investment easier, but it wasn't the reason we invested in property. And so BAs, I'm telling you, stop pushing clients and members and investors towards new builds. It is not the way to accelerate capital growth, right? We want to focus on established locations that have scarcity, that do not have many new builds. We do not want to buy in estates in oversupplied areas, and that is exactly where new builds exist. In the same token, we don't want to buy high yield unit opportunities, especially if they're in oversupplied apartment heavy areas. We want to buy in undersupplied dominated housing areas that do not have many units. Those are the areas where we purchase units and we do not purchase new builds. And BAs are pushing that on overdrive. They're pushing it because there is a lucrative incentive to, one, get a developer to work with them to purchase a new build, and then number two, it's an easy selling tactic saying negative gearing exists for new builds, you should purchase those assets. Number 5, guys, you have to be careful with marketing, especially by BAs, right? The results they achieve for their clients in the golden age of property investment, especially between 2022 to 2024, when we had 30 to 40% growth, may not necessarily apply to 2026, 2027, 2028, where the growth will be at slower, more acceptable rates back to normal property acceleration levels. We had a golden age of investment that no longer exists. We have to be more realistic about how much growth we can get per year. And there's a lot of push by marketing, case studies, videos. They come on national TV, on Channel 9, Channel 7, and talk about how buying investment properties is the way forward. And yes, I do not disagree. There is an element to that which makes complete sense. However, slick presentation, wearing a suit and tie, advertising yourself in a way that will attract professional buyers, that will attract professional workers, are all slick traps that you have to be careful of, right? At the end of the day, your growth will come from the location that you pick. The growth will come on how long you hold the asset. The growth will come on how well you pick the property you purchase, not on marketing, not on past results. Just because they did it once doesn't necessarily mean they can do it again. And you do have to be very careful about which assets they're pushing yourself into based on your strategy. It only takes a couple of clicks on Facebook and Instagram on a buyer's agent ad to then be constantly flooded over and over and over again by BA content. So be pretty careful, guys. But let's talk about the net shift in the BA strategy, right? The ultimate shift is negative gearing got scrapped. Their borrowing capacity got scrapped. SMSF is getting screwed. That means BAs are targeting completely different assets than they were 6 to 12 months ago. They are pushing new builds, they are pushing high yield unit opportunities, but they're in apartment heavy areas. You have to be very careful about that, right? Buyers agents are recommending small towns and fringe markets purely because the numbers work on paper, not because they might be the best asset for this person. Buyers agents may also be reducing their fees to get more of a market share, especially as the market starts to cool down over the next 6 to 12 months in certain areas and there are less buyers in the market. This is going to push BAs to be more aggressive with their marketing and their pricing and what sort of assets they push you into. So be careful, guys, what your buyers agent is going to be purchasing for you going forward. You really need to make sure that one, the location that you invest into meets your suburb requirements, meets your strategy requirements, meets your risk profile, and meets your scalability expectations. And what I want to say before I end this video, don't rely purely on your buyer's agent. If you have watched to the end of this video, I most likely believe that you are a customer, a viewer who has engaged with the buyer's agent or about to engage with the BA, and you want a second opinion about the locations they're suggesting, as well as the property they're suggesting. That is where I can help you guys. All right, I am a simple monthly subscription cost for $40 a month where you can get property reviews, deal reviews, you get engaged with the community who are actively investing. That is what makes the subscription community amazing, because it's active investors, not people on a Facebook chat or a property chat or a Reddit community. It is real people helping each other out in real time, getting real guidance, and you have access to plenty of resources, suburb reviews, past question and answers. I can help you with personalized mentorship and guidance. Till next time, thank you very much.